I love this game. And I love this menu a lot too. It's one of my favorites. Kind of just sort of sit here sometimes and look at it. But that is not what I'm here to do today. Today I'm gonna take you around some of my favorite maps and point out some cool little details and stuff that I like. I'm gonna start off with Ghost Town. So one of the things I love off the bat about this map is the sky. Halo 3's skyboxes are already really beautiful, but this one is just very nice. It's very simple, but if you look out there you can see some, I don't know, towers or something. Some trees, mountains. There's a lot of detail that probably at least half the people that have ever played on this map have never looked at. I mean, and I don't blame them, because when you're playing the game, you're all the way down here. There's almost no way to see any of that. Which also is part of why I think those details are so cool. But besides that, there are other little spots on the map, such as this little outcropping up here. Now, this looks kind of like just a normal spot on the map, but there is an invisible wall. Very lame. It stops you from going up there, probably because it'd be annoying to get sniped at from up here, and up here. It's a balancing thing, it makes sense. But part of me always wondered, what's over there? What's back there? If you look, literally nothing. You know, this ghost town is just sitting here. Although it's implied to just sort of go on, which I think is very cool. You can also look in here, look at all the rocks, look at these bricks. Look at that. Those bricks are pretty cool looking. They got a little dent in them. They're higher resolution than the ground texture, probably because they're smaller, but it's still cool. This is another spot on the map. I've never actually noticed this room, but I really like it. Let me get a sword out for a little extra light. If you look in there, you can see a little generator, a little workboard, supervisor. I'm stupid. Let's see, supervisor. I think that's what that says. And you can see a little way in and out. Except the vent's the only way in. I don't know how anyone is expected to actually enter this room. So maybe the people get paid to come in and out through there. There's also a grate on the floor. So there's a lot of like drainage for this room. Oh, I guess you could also enter through that crack in the ceiling, which I don't think we can actually visit. But if you've played Halo 3, have you ever looked at this? Ever noticed that little key box over there? There's people put their keys into for unknown reasons. I mean, I don't know who's gonna be in here. Looks like the only person in here ever is, I don't know, Orperate or something, I don't know. Oh, Operate. I'm stupid. They're crawling through the vents. A lot of the time, labels and games from this time are just kind of like super blurry images, like you can't really see what it says. But you can actually read this, even the sort of the fine print. This is in accordance with UNSC. I don't speak that language. It's probably like German or something, I don't know. I would say most people who've played on this map would remember the tree room. You know, there's a big tree in the middle, but there's also a little walkway up there. This is one of the rooms that has always sort of captured my mind a little bit. These sorts of curved roofs with the glass in them are really cool to me. And I wish I could go all the way up there, but I can get on top of this tree platform. From up here you can see some different things. It's a little more obvious that the tree leaves are just flat images, at least the branches. But the tree textures themselves are pretty high quality and detailed. Oh, I'm stuck. And it also appears that I have to die.
Suicide.
This part of the map is always really fun to play on, especially if you got someone goofing off with the mongoose. You can sort of race it around until you get to this part. Except for if you're smart. But this room is also pretty cool. Look at that. You can see a little beam of light coming in from above. There's little plants growing on the walls, little boards. Go into this blocked up drainage pipe of some sort, which also has a little strange oddity with its lighting, but that's fine. And then it brings you back out here. Look at that. Halo 3's bloom is, I think, part of what makes it look so beautiful a lot of the time. Like, that really feels like a sunset. What the? Again, if we fly up there, this doesn't really have the same effect. So they deliberately designed it to look like that from right there. They put a lot of care into this map, even though it was added later as DLC. It's also just a really fun map in general. Look at that. I also like to give a shout out to all the little dangly ropes they've got all over the place. Oh. That's tragic. I really like ropes. I don't know why, they just look cool. This next one is assembly. Fun fact, this map is home to the one Halo 3 achievement I will never get. Because I couldn't get it before the servers went down. Had to get like 8 hammer kills or something. I just couldn't find a match. Besides that little grudge I have with it, this map is actually really cool. This is a Scarab production facility. They're those big things you fight in the campaign with the legs. You can see the sort of hand basket looking shell up there going into that big green gas-filled stomach of some sort. And despite feeling like a lot like an outdoor map, this map is actually completely inside. You cannot see the sky at all. If you look up there, there's like a little laser. But I also really like these little tubes with the worms, which I think are actually the same worms that make up the hunters and pilot the scarabs, which is something I've never actually noticed until right now. We have some sort of hieroglyphic pattern here. I don't really know what this means. Maybe the Zodiac Killer mailed this to someone? Oh. Maybe it's just directions. But, yeah, I don't really know what this corresponds to. I don't know if this is some sort of, like, server room or circuit board or map, maybe. But this little wall thing is pretty cool. I don't know what it does, but I'm sure whoever built it is very proud of their invention. Or maybe not. Maybe they think it's stupid or something, I don't know. But it is hooked up to the worm tubes. If you've played this map in Infection, you probably know this spot. This is the hilarious location where people will sort of... Oh! Okay, that's not good. Yeah, I'm not very good at this. Shimmy up the side and... What am I talking about? Okay. Well, apparently that's water. That was a completely false fact, by the way. I think I was thinking of here. This is the spot. You can get up right in that little crevice. Yeah. You can camp out with the sword. I also like these pipes. Pipes are cool. They're like ropes. Not quite as cool as ropes, but they still look very nice. Probably tubing some worms into the laser beam. Maybe just some scarab mucus. I don't know. Oh. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Human engineering at its finest. You can hit someone with that. One other thing, if you take a look at your service record, I know this doesn't really count as a map deal, but whatever. Not only can you see now out-of-date information, because unfortunately the servers are down, but also, if you look at your Spartan's feet, you can see that they're actually floating in space. Noticing this was very irritating, because I really couldn't unsee it, because they just slowly float up and down. Like their feet are just ever so slightly clipping into the floor in normal gameplay, I guess, and you just can't tell, but it's kind of a strange thing. This whole room has a very strange perspective to begin with, because it's like there are 3 pillars of light emanating from the background. I think it's light, but also you're like you're not lit from behind, you're lit from the front, and there are shadows on the back of you. But you're mainly being lit from the left, because on the right you're also in shadow. It's very strange. It's one of those things that I don't think you were ever supposed to think about. But me and my little rat brain are doing just that. If you played a lot of custom games, you definitely recognize this map. This one has another one of my favorite trademark Halo 3 sunset-y skyboxes. I don't know if you would exactly call it a sunset, but the sun's definitely going down. That sort of, very yellowy green and yellowy brown color that like the Africa areas in Halo 3 have. It's really pretty looking. I mean, the first thing pretty much anyone will notice is these satellite dishes. But also, check that out. What's that? Who's flying that? Where are they going? When is this map? I've never noticed that before, ever. I've played this map a lot. But I never noticed that there were 2 little jets that went by. Here's another one of those labels. This one is about strong radio frequencies. Speaking of the sunset, there's the moon. Didn't mean to do that, but, that's okay. Bubble Shield's gotta do what they gotta do. Overlooking the moon is what I believe to be some flat images of radar towers. It's interesting to see, the difference between the higher resolution trees versus the lower resolution ones. But still, even if they are just a flat image in the distance, adds that little extra bit of life to the map. Helps you feel like it's a real place. And there you got some water, which I don't know if I like this part of the map quite as much. Halo 3's water in general looks pretty good, but I would say this kind of just looks like snot. Still, I like the little shot with the mountain partially in shadow. Look at that. How many people do you think have ever read this label? If you can read this, then you're too close.
Suicide.
Oops. I guess I killed the Master Chief. I've switched to the green team for no apparent reason. But I spawned up here, so I wanted to talk about this room. Now, besides the fact that this is one of those things I also have never noticed. Look at that. Server cluster. I have noticed this. I think these are pretty cool. I don't know what this map is. That's a tactical view of something. But I think this room is pretty cool. I mean, normally you're too worried being anxious about some asshole running in with a shotgun and, like, getting a running ride or something, but you know, if you're by yourself, you can pick up a Magnum and not want to, like, die. Because you don't have to kill anyone. Or at least try. I don't know how many times you're really going to be successful with this. It's beside the point. Here's the electromagnetic sensitive label again. As we come back outside. Look at this really nice tree. Halo 3's, like, foliage and nature is just really nice looking. Look at the shadows on that. If you also look at the right angle, you can see that's a totally flat surface. But from here, like, you can see shadows and other stuff. Oh, you know what I think those are? I think those are missiles, because every time before I see one, I hear a little... Oh, there it is. Now look at that. It's just a white blur. It's still really cool, though. That's a pretty cool explosion. Okay, I missed the cliff. I think we have time for about one more. But before that, I just want to give an honorable mention to Foundry. This room, which you can actually go in there if you glitch it. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Look up. Look at that. I'm in. Can't go all the way back there for some reason, though. You can get close to the high pressure valve, though. So, you know, you run the risk of dying brutally, or being maimed or killed, but that's okay.
Suicide.
But the main thing I really want to point out is this view of this building. There's something about that I find very, very interesting. Now, if we want to get a closer look at that, so if you're wondering, this is from, oh, take two. So, I was too lazy to actually get out of there myself because I forgot which wall you had to go to. But it's this one. So I loaded up Duck Hunt. You know, this is an awesome map, by the way. You know, if you just so happen to be playing Halo 3 and just so happen to be mailed a laser disc containing Duck Hunt, I mean, that's all you need to live. Assuming you have another body to utilize this map with. But also, first of all, oh god. When we come out here, we get a much better view of the Foundry itself. And honestly, this is one of the prettiest places in Halo 3, in my opinion. Nothing I say, I think, can really do this justice, so I think I'll just let it speak for itself. And as a little added bonus, this outdoor area is pretty cool. Oh my god. Okay, so we're back. We're here in theater mode. But yeah, I just wanted to point out this little strip of land here. It's interesting, you know, it cuts off, it makes sense. No one's ever going to see that in actual gameplay. And I don't think they ever expected anyone to get out here. But I think what I really appreciate is this little upper walkway. Now, I have a thing for little upper cut-off walkways in games. There's something that just captures my imagination like nothing else. Where seeing that from below just gets my mind going, gets me excited. All it takes is a little fence texture and a wall that goes a little higher. And that's pretty much it. Oh, Cheering Aura 23 is online. That's incredible. Oh, there's me. Look at that. We are in the future. Look at that. Look at this technology. We can see ourselves now. Pretty incredible. For this last map, I'm going to have you try and guess which one this is. Because usually, you know, if you ask someone what their favorite Halo 3 map is, it's usually something like High Ground, Last Resort, Valhalla, Guardian. Those are all fantastic maps. I love those. But no, usually people don't say this one. So I've given you a second. Here's the skybox. Did you guess it? It was Longshore. Oh! Master Chief has killed himself for the second time today. Was that a water splash when I can respawn? That was funny. But yeah, Longshore is one of my favorite maps in Halo, and just in general, but it's probably my favorite map in Halo 3. It's not even necessarily for its gameplay, though I do think it's a very fun map. It's just the vibe, the atmosphere it has. There's something so, like, compelling about this to me. Like, all the little details, the seagulls, the trademark sun setting, but now with the sun reflected in the water, the long shadows, the warm lighting, the metal, the above walkways, you know, that's a big ticket item there. The pipes, far out scenery that you can barely make out, beautiful skybox. There's this little cozy little walkway over there. I really wish I could go see it. But walk around there, check that door out, see what's around the corner. But, you know, this is where the invisible barriers stop you, which are so frustrating, but also make sense. First time I played this map, I got very excited when I came up this way. This little staircase over here. Because I come up here, I see the little green light, and I walk up to it, and it says, "Hold RB to extend the bridge." And so I complied, and I assumed, oh, you can go over there and extend the other side of the bridge. But unfortunately, bupkis. There's like nothing in there. But it's one of those things where something so simple can capture the imagination. I don't know if it's just me. My brain, magic brain mushroom operation system is a little odd, but, you know, I just like to think about these places. I like to see whether or not you can shoot through the chain link fence, because it's up in the air on every map, whether or not you can. You can see that this is the F3 Mombasa Inland Plant. And if we follow this tube, we can see where it goes. And probably some of that tube ends up in the freezer room, which is another place that's very cool, and is another place that you can glitch into with the machine gun turret, which is my best friend. Look at that. You get a whole freezer room to walk around in. Unfortunately, you can't collide with this little bridge thing, or I guess fortunately, depending on what you think. You get a beautiful little screen tearing thing here. I think that's just what happens when there's not a texture in Halo 3. If you're over here, you can reset it so that it shows the skybox, and you can actually see the bottom of the water, the bottom of the dock, which is another detail I think is very cool. Fortunately, you can't get a warthog in here.
Suicide.
Now, we also have this room. Now, this room is very special to me. Not only because it's a really cool looking room, but because I once spent 3 hours, maybe even 4, with my good friend trying to get in the wall. And we actually did. And I had the idea to make a little King of the Hill map. And it's very buggy, and the hill will teleport randomly away. But you can get up here. You can fight over the hill. You can look at this cool little laser texture as well. This is one of the few out-of-bounds areas where grenades do actually pass through the floor. And besides that, we also put a fun little room for anyone who tried to sneak out of bounds. That would, soft lock them back here with an infinite supply of flares. You can kind of just do this. And it blinds everybody, and it's a giant pain, and it's really funny. So, I think that was a great idea I had. Alright, one last spot. Now, this last spot really isn't that cool. It's not that special. But for whatever reason, above any other spot in Halo 3, this is the one walkway that completely captured my imagination. And, occasionally I would just come here and sit and stare out at the ocean and the mountains and this strange little outcropping on the edge of this map. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know why I like this spot so much. I just think it's really cool.
Game over.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for now. Maybe another time I'll come back and look at some more. But Halo 3 is just a game that means a lot to me, and I think its maps are really cool. If you've stuck around this long, that's pretty cool as well. Drive safe. Bye.